Hello, everyone, and welcome back to a new video. Today, we will be discussing why Michigan Republicans may be turning a corner in the state and why it actually may give Trump the victory in the state because they are cleaning up their act. So, yeah, let's just get into that. So, Michigan Republicans, for a long time, their party in the state have been absolutely terrible, plagued by very, very, very bad leadership. They have been absolutely incompetent for quite a bit, and they were essentially controlled by a bunch of neocon losers who couldn't get anything done. They were extremely incompetent. They sucked at fundraising, they sucked at promoting their candidates, and they lost pretty much every race that they actually tried to pour resources in. Essentially, they were extremely bad at doing their job. And it was looking like nothing was going to change. Mitt Romney and his other goons were just going to keep nominating people in Michigan to lose, lose, and lose. It's kind of like Colorado. People thought that Michigan was going to be the new Colorado. The GOP there just super incompetent and they don't feel like winning. Well, that might be changing because Michigan Republicans they realize that they are fucked with this leadership. So, they've decided to get rid of that leadership and replace them with preferably more competent people. And the base there, the neocons who have been running the show for a while, they are pissed. They do not like this at all because they really like win. They really like losing. They don't want to win, and them losing leadership over the whole party, that's not going to go well. They've lost most of their power in the national level, and if they lose them at the individual state levels, that is going to be the end of them and the end of their control in all sects of the party. So they aren't happy about it at all. Democrats in the state are also very unhappy about it because they don't have an easy opponent that they can just beat because they're incompetent. And the real winners are the conservatives in the party who have taken control ever since 2016. They actually get competent leadership. And this is relatively good for the Republican Party because they get competent leadership, which not only will help them win state races like the governor election, House races, the Senate race, it not only will help them there because mainly what's been keeping them so far behind is just how incompetent the party's been. They have had so many opportunities to win so many elections in Michigan and turn it around the corner, kind of like Wisconsin, but they just haven't. And that's because they have been led by incompetent leaders, and now they're getting rid of them. They have an opportunity to turn that corner and potentially make Michigan the new Wisconsin. And Trump, he's actually doing pretty well there, even before this got announced. He is beating Biden in the polls by almost 6 points, and that is relatively good. And that is gonna probably not stay. He's probably not gonna win it by almost 5 points. That's probably not gonna happen. He might win it by 1 point or 2 points at most. But even if he does win it, the Republican Party becoming more competent in the state means that, yeah, Trump is probably going to win it by 1 point, if even. But in future elections, someone could win it by 2 points, 3 points, 4 points. Maybe it could even be a 5 point win. Basically, you're securing it for a more Republican friendly state and keeping it from going the Colorado direction where you basically have no power outside of a few house races, which they almost lost a couple of them. And you don't want that. You don't want Michigan to become the new Colorado or the new Virginia, which Virginia is also kind of taking a turn, but it's still very Democratic. You don't want that. You want it to be a swing state and a Republican state. So the GOP becoming more competent in the state is definitely going to help all presidential candidates, all the Senate races, and all the House races in Michigan. And if you have that incompetent party in a state, then generally all your candidates do better. Every single state with a competent GOP, the Republican candidates usually do a lot better than in states where there's an incompetent GOP. Think of a state like, let's say, Colorado, let's name that again, or New Mexico even. New Mexico and Colorado, they have incompetent GOP leadership, they have incompetent GOP analysts, and they have incompetent GOP strategists. And what has happened? They have gone from either leaning Republican states or swing states all the way into likely and safe Democrat slots. And you don't want that for Michigan because if they keep up with their incompetency, Michigan is going to go from a toss up to a lean Democrat state, and it might go towards safer likely. And if that happens, you're not making any ground back up because you have thrown out your opportunity to make it either a swing state or a Republican state. And Trump winning in this election, if the party is still incompetent, you're not going to get anything. And there is tons of room to grow. You have very favorable demographics, kind of like Wisconsin, where you got that white working class base. You just need to bring them out and appeal to them. You have rural regions which are almost flipping democratic. You got tons of space in the rural regions to grow your base. And especially in these smaller cities, you have tons of space to grow. And you have tons of voters to potentially bring out and flip all these counties and potentially make the state a lot more Republican. You just need competent leadership who can actually fundraise and promote their candidates rather than just kind of not giving a shit and then letting them lose. You need to have competent leadership because if you don't have that, you are going to lose, lose, and lose. You are going to keep losing, and then you're going to end up with Colorado 2.0. Michigan, you don't really want that to go down Colorado territory. So replacing your leadership, that's pretty good. And the current leadership right now, they have done nothing but lose, lose, lose. And Michigan Republicans, they are doing a very, very good effort to get rid of these people because you are not going to get anywhere with these people if you want to make the state more Republican because they have this weird obsession with trying to lose, lose, and lose. They don't want to win at all for some reason. They just want to keep losing, and that's okay with them. So you want to flip all these seats, you want to flip the Senate, you want to flip the House, you want to flip all these counties, you want to make it a Republican state. Well, you got to bypass this leadership because these incompetent fools keep holding people back and they can't do any part of their job and they're just going to hold more people back, especially if you want to win in 2024. Getting rid of that leadership now, well, it should have been done earlier, but getting rid of them now is going to help you in 2024 and potentially help Trump flip the most Democrat friendly swing state. And in future elections, you want to make that more Republican. You want to cement your hold in Michigan, and you want to make sure that you're getting all of the voters that you need out. Because if you don't go chasing those voters, if you don't fundraise, if you don't promote candidates, you lose. That's in pretty much every single state. All the other swing states have much more competent Republican parties. Arizona might be a little bit closer to Michigan than all the other swing states, but they held on to Arizona for quite a while, and it was for a while a very likely red state. So they have some competency, but they're still around as incompetent as Michigan. And look how that ended out. They have moved the state way, way, way far to the left, and you don't want that to happen to Michigan again. So, bottom line, you need to replace that leadership, which they are clearly doing, but you don't want to make the same mistake where you replace the leadership and just replace it with another pair of incompetent fools. So, hopefully, Republicans in Michigan, they replace their leadership with people who are actually competent and not just fools who want to lose, lose, lose. So, overall, Michigan is it turning a corner? Kind of depends on how the Republican Party in Michigan handles this new leadership change, but right now it's looking pretty good for them. And once they get all this leadership crap out of the way, Trump should definitely have a higher chance of winning Michigan. And in the future, they should probably have a higher chance of winning a bunch of races that have been held back by incompetent leadership. So, just wanted to get into that story. If you think Michigan is turning a corner, leave it in the comments below. If you think Michigan is just going to go farther and farther to the left, become new Colorado, leave it in the comments below. And yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Out.